Hello guys, this is Oroth and a warm welcome back to my channel. Yesterday Blizzard released some new patch notes and today we're gonna look at the new Crusader essences. But first I also want to give you a little bit of an update on my previous video that I made. Since I recorded that video I have learned a new trick and that's how to activate your familiar within the dummy area. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm also going to show you how that affects the results of my dummy run. So let's dive straight into the video. So first here I'm going to show you how to activate the familiar. And as you can see here, I'm in the dummy area, and when I'm attacking the dummy, the familiar will not attack. So what I have to do then is that I have to leave game and then just log straight back on. And now when I attack the dummy, all of a sudden you can see now that I apply the armor break, because the dragon, the Blood Talon, is now attacking the dummy. We can try again here. You can see now that the cooldown of the skill of the familiar on that circle above the dragon. And if I attack the dummy now, you can see that the familiar will apply its active skill onto the target. And why is this important? Yes, let me show you why. If we go in here you can see the build first. It's the same build as in my previous video that we're gonna try out here. But if we go here and look at my familiar, we can see that it has two very important passive skills, which is Lingering Wounds and Tenacity. And what Lingering Wounds does is that it applies a 35% armor break on the target when you have an insight of 195. So if you have any Blood Talon with Lingering Wounds or any other familiar as well that applies damage to a target with its active skill, the base debuff is 27.5%. But with more insight you can increase this value. And this is my companion pet that I'm using for PvE content, because in my opinion this is the best combination of two passive skills in the game. You have Lingering Wounds and you also have Tenacity, which reduces the cooldown of the active skill of the familiar. So this is a very strong combo. And if you remember in my last video, I made a dummy run with the Crusader where I managed to achieve 11.5 million DPS over 5 seconds. And now we're gonna try to see how much the damage will improve now when we have found out a way to activate our familiar. So if you want details about this build I'm using here, you can check my previous video. I do a very detailed breakdown, and the action will start now at 20 seconds and you will see the output now with the familiar skill active on the target. So here we go. Remember last time over 5 seconds we did 11.5 million DPS, and now all of a sudden we do 16.5 million DPS. So yeah, the damage output is very crazy, and here we can also see how important a familiar can be to improve your damage. So yeah, this is just a little update I wanted to share with you. And if you have any familiar with Lingering Wounds, you can now use it on the training dummy by just following the tooltips in this video. But now it's time to look on the new Crusader essences, and I'm very excited because this patch suits my playstyle a lot. So let's dive straight into the new essences. The first piece is the chest piece, which is called Bloodstained Faith. And what it does is that whenever you use Conjuration of Light, you will now call 4 bodyguards of light to surround and follow you, slashing enemies with their swords. And I can't see the keyword summon here, but I really think that these will be 4 summons that the Crusader can use. And if you know me and have seen my videos, what I love the most is to play around with different types of summon builds. So this is a very, very exciting essence, and I can't wait to try it out. I'm already sure, if it counts as summons, as I believe it will, that it will be a very, very strong essence. The only downside of it is that it is a chest piece, and on that slot right now, to deal optimal damage, you should use Accurate's Rebuke. So this is a little bit of a downside, but I'm still thinking that this essence will be super fun and super strong for a lot of types of content. And what's also important to note here is that it is Conjuration of Light, and there is also shoulders that syncs well with Conjuration of Light. For example, Wind-Blessed Pauldrons that increases the duration of Conjuration of Light, and I expect that that will also increase the duration of the summons, of course. So I'm really looking forward to play around with this essence. But let's move forward and look at the next one. In the next slot, we have the new shoulders, which are called Kyrgyzstan Sunrise. And what it says is that whenever Falling Sword deals damage 3 times, it will call a shaft of light, dealing additional damage. And at first glance, I am not sure about this essence yet. We also have a new main hand coming out that syncs well with Falling Sword. And it depends a little bit on how that main hand is working. If that main hand is working optimally, then this shoulder piece will all of a sudden become very, very interesting. But let's talk more about it when we reach the new main hand slot. If we look on the new pants, this is also a very exciting essence. And the name of it is Light Striders. And what it does is that it turns your draw and quarter into 2 summons. So you will, instead of mounting a horse, you will now summon 2 horses of light that charge at enemies, dealing damage and causing knockbacks. And if these 2 horses counts as summons, which they should do because the keyword summon is here, this will be a very, very interesting and exciting essence to try out. I did see some video though where I couldn't see a duration bar above the horses. And whenever you summon a summon, there is always a duration bar on top of it, so you can see how much of the duration is remaining. And I couldn't see that on the horses on this video that I saw, but hopefully that was just in this video that I saw, and this will count the summons, and there will be a duration bar when they release this essence. And yeah, it's also a very good slot, because if we go into raids and if we go to the dummy, for example, there is not really any super strong essences right now for the pants slot. So I would say that this would be 100% inclusion in the damage output builds. And we will also see later here the new offhand that makes it easier to replace the horse that you mount, because there will now be other ways to gain movement speed. So this essence is very, very interesting. What we also have to wait and see is if the attacks of the horses will count as primary attacks. Because if they count as primary attacks, you will get all the damage bonuses from primary attack damage, reforges and magical attributes. And you can also utilize the fire banner even better with these horses if they count as primary attacks. Because as you know, the fire banner buffs all the targets so that their primary attacks applies a dot effect. And if this works on the horses, you will have even more dot effects that you can utilize through Condemn and Accurate's Rebuke and Torrential Refrain offhand. So very, very exciting essence. I can't wait to try it out. The next essence is the helm piece, which is called Mask of Condemnation. And what it says is that Holy Banner now rallies you and nearby summons, increasing attack speed and critical hit chance. And this essence looks very interesting for several reasons. First of all, it's a buff that applies to both yourself and your summons, and this will trigger the veto effect and bottled hope. And this is always something that's great with a buff when you are a summoner, because there are many buffs that only applies to yourself or that only applies to your summons. So this is positive when we read this text. What's also interesting here is that it says it will rally both you and nearby summons. It doesn't say your summons. This indicates that this will also buff the summons of your party members. So if you have a necromancer or a summon demon hunter in your party, this will also work on their summons. But this we have to wait and see if it works as we think it will. There is already an essence that's similar to this one, and it's a monk essence. I think it's called Neckbreaker. And what it does is that it increases the attack speed and the damage done by both yourself and your summons. And there the text says your summons. So I believe that this will buff every summon in your party. So it's a very interesting essence. I have to say though that this is on the helm slot. So when you use this one, you will not be able to use Fire Banner. And Fire Banner is extremely strong together with summons. So if you will use this helmet instead, you should bring another crusader in the party that can use the Fire Banner. So yeah, even though it's a helm, it's very, very interesting. The next essence is called Skullcracker, and it's a new main hand. And it says, Falling Sword now attaches the mark of the sword to you and nearby summons, causing swords to continually fall at the location of the marked. And yeah, this essence might be super strong, especially together with the new shoulders. But it depends a little bit on how this will work, because there are similar essences today that necromancers can use, where they apply a bone armor effect on all of their summons. And when they use those effects, some of them, they have a cap on how many ticks of damage that can occur each second. So if there's a cap on this skill, I would say that this essence is not that good. But if there is no cap, and yeah, let's say that you are able to apply this to 10 summons, and all of them can deal damage from this effect without any diminishing returns, then I believe it can be super, super strong. So I guess we have to wait and see. And also interesting here is that it will buff both yourself and nearby summons. So this also indicates that you can apply it to a necromancer summon, for example. So it's going to be super exciting and interesting to try this out. And it might increase damage quite a lot. It's also in a good slot. It's in a main hand slot, and at the moment it's you don't have to replace something else that's very important to use this main hand. So that's also a positive note on the Skullcracker. The final essence is the new offhand, and it's called Unholy Wall. And what it says is that each ally affected by the Holy Banner increases movement speed of you and your allies by 15%, up to a maximum of 45%. And of course, this will work very well with the new pants, because previously we could mount a horse, but with the new pants we will not be able to do so. And this will be a great tool for us to increase our movement speed. And also you could use this offhand to buff the movement speed of your party. So it's almost like a sprint buff, but at 45%. The barbarian skill sprint that can also be applied to all party members. If you want to apply this to all party members, I'm not sure if it will work. I guess not with the new Helm essence, because that banner only affects yourself and nearby summons. So if you want to buff the movement speed of anyone in your party, you have to use the fire banner or the normal banner that follows with you. But still an interesting essence that will definitely be of use in some types of builds. So yeah, this is all of the new Crusader essences. I'm really looking forward to try them out, and I really hope you enjoyed the new dummy tricks I showed you, how to activate your familiar. And wherever you are, I would also like to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening. And to my clan members in Nyx and EOS, I would like to send my deepest gratitude. So take care and bye bye.